Alright, in this video I'm going to show you how I finished this soft maple raised panel sample door. Now this was just a test door. I was actually venturing back into waterborne or water-based coatings. And this door was actually stained with a waterborne stain and a waterborne finish. The stain is actually from Clark Deco. It's actually their walnut color. It's a CDM 3920. It's, like I said, kind of a medium walnut color. And I finished it with the Milesi 1K self seal. This is also a waterborne 1K polyurethane. I'm not new to waterborne, but I've been on it for quite a while. In 2002, I actually sprayed waterborne strictly just in the shop here. And just because it was something different, I was actually working with another company. Actually, for the most part, back in 2000, compared to when I was exposed to waterborne in 1995, working for a different company, there was a great improvement in that 5 years. And what I'm finding is 20 years later that there's even bigger improvement. So I feel at some point in time the waterborne and water-based technology will catch up with the solvent predecessors. So this is just a review of this product, kind of give you my thoughts on it as far as the things I did like, the things I didn't like, things like that. So let's get to it. So for the stain, I chose to actually do a waterborne wipe stain that I actually got from the same supplier as the 1K Milesi clear coat finish. This, I believe, is a Milesi wipe stain that was made in-house, made with the Milesi vehicle and Milesi colorants. I know people are going to ask me and tell me, well, you should be looking at a spray stain. They work so much simpler, and that may very well be, but I am definitely old school when it comes to coloring the wood. And what I will tell you is that I saw an immediate advantage of this stain compared to any other solvent stain I've ever used, and I've used some really good solvent stains in the past. And that is the fact that this stain wipes off very quick, very evenly, and very clean with little effort. And that is a huge thing. Now this door is being wiped in real time. There is no funny magic here. This is real time. If I did this in a solvent, I would have gone through probably twice as many rags, and I'd still be wiping it probably at least half again the time, if not twice the time. So for me, this waterborne wipe stain is actually a huge improvement for time savings as far as how long it took me to actually clean this up. There was no going back over it again to make sure I didn't miss a spot. I mean, it literally was, what you see here was actually real time. So maybe at some point in time we'll actually try a spray stain as well, just to see how easy or difficult it may be. The thing with me for doing a spray stain would change basically how the cabinets go into the finishing room, and that would be maybe masking off the cabinets and finishing the interiors prior to assembly, but there's some other things that have to work out. But for the most part, what I saw here was a significant improvement in the amount of time it took to wipe the stain, and as far as how much little effort it took. So this actually worked out really well. So the one thing that I found that I really liked was the fact that I actually had sanding media to sand a seal coat. That's something I'm currently using in the shop. In some testing I've done some other products in the past, it turned out to be that I didn't really have a good sanding media to do the seal sanding with. Now I typically stock two different types of media from two different manufacturers. I stock the Indasa Rhino Soft, it's a P320, it's like a B or C weight paper with a foam back, comes on a roll. And then I also use the Festool Granat, also in the P320, that's a B or C weight paper with a foam backing, very similar. But I find that the Indasa works better for me for clears, and that the Festool Granat actually works better for the pigment primer surfacers in the solvent. When I came to the Waterborne, it turned out to be that the Indasa Rhino Soft actually performed better than the Festool Granat. So again, I didn't actually have to try different media to make this powder out. For sanding the profiles, especially like the radius and stuff like that, I was just actually using the 3M Maroon Scotch Brite. It's a 7447. I find that that pretty much works with any type of coating for delicate profiles. So when it came to sanding, this stuff chalked up really nice with little effort. All right, so we're gonna quick do a 5-minute follow-up, and I've tried this so many times. So basically, what I liked and what I didn't like about the two different products here, the wipe stain and the clear self seal. The wipe stain. What I really liked about it is I could saturate it really heavy with the HVLP, and the fact that it actually wiped off very quickly and very evenly. It wasn't anything where it was kind of like a solvent stain where you constantly have to flip your rag and kind of keep cleaning up. I mean, it wiped off very quick and even. That's a plus. The disadvantage is it's got a little bit of a shorter working time than a solvent. Actually, a lot shorter working time. However, again, it goes back to it wiped off very quick and very even. The other thing I did not like is that there was a fair amount of grain raise. I did sand this door up to 320 just for S&Gs and entertainment purposes, and I was still surprised the amount of grain raise I have with that. So I think I could probably stop at 150 or 180 and still have a fair amount of grain raise. So it's the nature of the water in the stain that's going on in the pores and fuzzing the fibers up. So I don't think there's really a way around that unless you actually want to do a pre-seal, which is kind of like a wash coat. Where you spray it on, you let it dry, do your final sanding, and then put your stain on, but that affects your color. So, and again, I wanted to try this straight out of the container the way it was. The Milesi 1K Clear Self-Seal Waterborne. I've never sprayed either one of these before, and what I'm going to tell you is I was really impressed on how this material sprayed out. 550 pounds fluid, a 611 tip, 11-12 psi atomizing air, sprayed out like solvent. I mean, it sprayed like glass. The first seal coat was a little bit lumpy and kind of rough looking, but when it dried and I powdered it out and sprayed the second coat on, it looked like glass. There was no bubbles, there was no orange peel, it wasn't lumpy looking, it was just silky smooth with that light cast of that white milky look to it, which is very common in a waterborne. So as far as what I didn't like about it, if there's anything I don't like about this system is cost. But waterborne coatings come with a cost because of the technology, and they're coming from Italy and all this other stuff. But at the same time, if you're going to move the water, there might be some discounts for you for your building insurance or for your any other permits you might have as far as fire or EPA or things like that. So that might be something to look into. Overall, what I will tell you is I did do this door. This is a vertical test. I did not do this on camera. I did this as a second thought. But I know a lot of people on Instagram said that the 1K Clear, the HSC 603X series, has a good vertical sag resistance, and I have to agree. When I sprayed the seal coat on this, I was aiming probably around 4 to 5 mils, and you can kind of tell if you spray coatings for all that how thick you're putting it on. And I can definitely tell you that I had at least 4 mils on here, and I had no curtaining, no sagging. I let this dry for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, came back, sent up, did the same thing, sprayed a second coat, same thing, about 4 to 4.5 wet mils, no curtain, no sagging. So it actually looks really nice. So when somebody says it's got good vertical sag resistance, I would definitely have to agree with that. So that was another plus for that. Other than that, I was really satisfied with how this came out. This is actually a sample door for a vanity I'm going to do for myself. So I'm going to use this color as is, soft maple, and I'll have a nice looking vanity. So I'll probably be using it again, hopefully maybe later this winter sometime in some little cooler conditions. So we'll see how that works. All right, that's all I have for this, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and you found it to be helpful. All right, guys, thanks for watching.